What's up, you guys? This isn't the video I was planning on releasing today, but Star Wars Outlaws 2 just came out on the Nintendo Switch 2, and I've been seeing a lot of talk about it online that apparently it looks and runs great. And, I just wanted to talk about that for a second because I find it very strange, When this game came out on PS5 and Xbox Series X, all the narrative around it from YouTubers was the game was not good. That it was just a bad game, not fun, empty open world, an Ubisoft just I don't know, cash grab's the right word, but an Ubisoft open world, just boring, bland game. Now it comes out on the Nintendo Switch 2, and it looks and runs well. And that's all I'm saying about this game, is that this game's amazing because it looks and runs well on the Nintendo Switch 2. And I don't know if this is some just console warrior talk going on online, or if is the game actually fun? That's what I want to know. Because looking and running good only gets you so far, and I think just that mentality, if companies are seeing this online, that's why we're getting these 8-year dev cycles, pushing photorealistic graphics, ray tracing, which is just kind of stupid. Oh, the hairs on the head, you can see just the graying on the tips in some of them, or the wind blowing. Looks and runs great. I don't know, that drives me crazy, man, because is the game good? Is it fun? Is it a good open world, or is it empty? Is it an empty open world that looks and runs great? Or is it a fun, immersive open world I can spend 60 hours in and just lose myself in and just really enjoy the game? And, I don't know. This whole time I thought Star Wars Outlaws was a bad game, just not that great. And I love Star Wars, over here in my movie shelf. I have every single Star Wars 4K release out there, all the Disney Plus on 4K Steelbook in there. I don't know if I love Star Wars. I really, really like Star Wars. I don't know if if I love Star Wars, I probably would have bought Star Wars Outlaw day one, no matter what. But I haven't bought it yet. To me, it looks like a $20 pickup. And maybe I'll get it on Switch too, because I just already think it's not that great a game. The only thing I hear about updates that's happened since we're launched, I've seen that it's oh, the game's been patched and improvements, but every game has patched and improvements after launch these days. This is modern gaming we're talking about. I've heard that there's some stealth sections that were boring, and I don't mind stealth sections. I know Spider-Man 2 on PS5, the Mary Jane stealth sections, people hated those, but I didn't mind them. I can slow down. I can slow my brain down, and I like stealth. So I don't know, but I guess they got rid of those in Star Wars Outlaws because people said that those were not fun. Was that it? Did they populate the open world with more stuff? Is it more immersive? I know they have I don't know. There was a lot of talk about the main character when the game first came out. That was a boring, bland character with no personality. I can't see that getting changed or updated. But the game looks and runs great. I don't know. Is that just where we're at? Is this some console warrior talk, or is the game fun? I like Star Wars. I want the game to be good. I don't think I'm gonna go out and spend $70 on it. And then you have the other people on the other side of the room who are oh, it's a game key card. I really wanted this game. It looks and runs great. I really wanted Star Wars, but it's a game key card. Now I can't get it. It's you guys are just robbing yourselves of entertainment if it's good. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's just a very slippery slope when it comes to just the narrative online of people talking about video games, of just it looking and running great. It looks good, the colors pop. That's the same thing with the 4K movies. I see, people talk about, it looks good. The colors pop. Everyone's saying the same thing. It's okay, it looks good. Great. What else? What else? What else about the game? Is it fun? Why is it fun? Why? Why is it good? I don't sit there and play a game, a big open world game. I don't play anything really and just sit there for 60 hours and be this looks good. I'm having a good time because it looks good. I play a game for 60 hours because I'm lost and immersed in it. I think it was 30 frames per second is what people are saying, and maybe that looks good in handheld mode. Not the biggest handheld gamer, but maybe it's something I pick up for $20 and I do play in handheld mode, during a football game or something. Or just casually playing, not having 100% the open world, but fun to explore in handheld mode. Maybe I play main quest on TV, open world in handheld mode. I can see that being a way that I actually play this game for a significant period of time, maybe not 60 hours. But um, if it's 30 frames per second, does that look bad on the TV? I don't know. Like when hear 30 frames per second, I always play my games in performance mode. I love 60 frames per second. Maybe 30 frames is fine on handheld, and if so, then that's fine. Then it's playable. And if it's somehow 30 frames per second on the TV and playable, like if I don't notice it for whatever reason, even though I am noticing it more and more with games, as just like get more experience and more just deeper into gaming. Yeah, when I see 30 frames per second, that seems like, oh, I don't know about that. I might want to get that on PS5 if I was to play it, so I can play it in 60 frames per second. But if it looks fine, if hands on it's fine, then cool. And it 30 frames is probably good enough for handheld. I don't know, man. I don't like the graphics race. I feel like I see the comparisons of screenshots online of the PS5 versus the Switch 2 version, the other side of the console wars. Saying why the Switch 2 version sucks, and it's like the exact same screenshot, but like, the PS5 version has some puddles that has some reflection, or like the lights have like this bloom going on. Some just dumb stuff that I never noticed when I actually played the game. Like, I really don't care. Like, I look at them like, if what's the development difference between those two screenshots? If the Switch 2 version, which looks barely worse, and I have to look at a still screenshot and really stare at it and be like, okay, yeah, that has like, spot the differences, those little things, those little like books where it's like, oh, find the 10 differences between the two pictures. Like that's what I have to do on the still screenshot. When I'm actually playing and just, everything's in motion, I don't notice that. If that can shave like 3 years of development cycle, if that can shrink the file size of these games, if they can make it a cheaper game, like a $50 game versus a $7 game, I don't think we need it to look like that great right now. I'd rather have more games that are fun. And that's the question I have right now with Star Wars Outlaws. Is it fun? Is it a good open world? Is it immersive? Is it something that people want to play 60 hours? Because all the YouTubers, when this game came out, said the game was not fun. So which is it? I don't know. And I just find it so strange. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Have you played this game? Are you gonna double dip and buy it on the Switch 2 because it looks and runs great? I'm all for like good looking ports, but I feel like just running and being playable is like the lowest bar, like the lowest standard. Like every game that's released should run well. I'm not gonna buy a game because it runs well, like it needs to run well and then also be a good game. And of course I want to support like certain things. Like, yeah, I don't want bad ports. I heard the Dragon Ball Sparking Zero port is a horrible, lazy port that like Bandai Namco is releasing, just terrible, poorly optimized ports. And yeah, there's poor ports on the Switch 2. I don't. Why would I buy? Yeah, why would I buy that if it doesn't play well? But I also don't want to buy a game like Star Wars Outlaws if it's not fun, just because it plays well. That said, if you do buy it and support it, I'm sure that's gonna help with companies not doing lazy ports. But I feel like the lazy port situation is because of the lack of dev kits, people just trying to bum rush and hit that Nintendo Switch 2 launch window because, if you have a game at the launch of a console, it's going to sell way better, even if it's a bad game. And so, like, I guess in the Sparking Zero situation, they're probably like, why would we spend 2 to 3 years optimizing this, making this run really well on the Switch 2, when we can release this poorly optimized version, and it's probably going to sell better than if we wait 2 or 3 years, because we're going to miss that window. We're going to miss that launch window. We're going to miss that opportunity. And, like, we can spend that 2 to 3 years on making Sparking Zero 2. I'm glad that Outlaws looks good and it runs good, but is it fun? And that's what I really want to know. So yeah, let me know in the comments. What am I missing here? Is it just the stealth section? Like, was it bad before because it was just buggy and glitchy? I mean, every game's buggy and glitchy when it comes out, and I hate that too. Uh, but I expect patches to roll out, so that's not really what I'm like focusing on. Like when a new game comes out, is like, is the world cool? Like, are the characters cool? Is it fun? Is the gameplay fun? I like open world games. I feel like, I expect them to be like 60 hours long of a bunch of like side crap, but I kind of like that sometimes. Doing a checklist every once in a while is satisfactory. It can be fun, but I don't want to do it all the time. It's kind of like JRPGs. I don't want to play JRPG after JRPG after JRPG. I don't want to play open world game after open world game after open world game. It kind of burns you out. Like, I'll play a big 60-hour open world game, then play like maybe a first person shooter, then play like a small like platformer or something like that. Mix it up. Same with like long RPGs. When you get so invested in a 60-hour game, you kind of have to just like take a break. Is this an worthy open world game to play and get invested in? Or is there a different one? Is it better than like Assassin's Creed Shadows, which I don't know. That's probably, I'm comparing Ubisoft with Ubisoft. That's probably the exact same situation. I don't know. Horizon Zero Dawn or something. I really liked that open world game. That's probably the closest like comparison I have. But I probably would play like Ghost of Tsushima. So yeah, Star Wars Outlaws or Ghost of Tsushima would be like on my list, I guess. But like Star Wars Outlaws really wasn't on my radar for even being something to pick up until I see this news now that the Switch 2 version is just so good. It looks and runs so well. But again, to me, I still feel like it's a $20 pickup or less, even if it's a game key card. I'm not going to let that stop me from playing the game. And it also doesn't look like a game that I have any interest in 100%ing. So yeah, definitely don't need like achievement or trophy support for that. The Switch 2 version could be cool. It's that 30 frames per second that, maybe it looks and runs well on handheld mode, but 30 frames, I don't know about that. I'm not sold on it. Could be a PS5 pickup for me, but again, really wasn't on my radar till this. So yeah, I want to know. I wish people would talk more about than just simply like repeating that it looks good and runs good. I wish people would talk more about the game itself, if it's fun, why it's fun, and like what is it better than. Why should that earn my attention? Why should I spend the next 60 hours of my life, which would take me like 3 months of just only playing that game? Why should I invest that time in a game like Star Wars Outlaws? Is it simply because it's a third-party game that looks and runs well compared to the rest? I think like, this is the third month of the Switch release, the third or fourth month of the Switch being released. The third party games are going to look and run well over time. Like, I think it's just a launch window reason why they suck. And maybe companies will release bad games over time, but I think they're going to be better and better over time. And like, I think the Switch 2 is a very capable system. I expect them to look and run good. And so, I don't know. That doesn't sell it to me. I'm not going to like blindly console warrior this game. I like the Switch 2. I think the Switch 2 is an amazing piece of hardware. I think it's going to run all these games very well, and they're going to look good. But I still am going to. I only have so much time, and I only want to invest that time on games really worth my attention, or when I'm feeling what's calling out to me. And this game wasn't on my radar until this news. In fact, like when I saw the release Star Wars Outlaws on Switch 2, I was like, okay, cool, I guess. Yeah, but what about you guys? Like, are you getting this game on Switch 2 specifically? Is it just because of this news and this hype that's going out about it looking and running good? I mean, like, yeah, that's cool. Like, in a way, I admit, like, if you support it, it could send a message. But are you getting it for the right reasons, or are you following the hype? Yeah, let me know down in the comments, and see you in the next video. Later.